Everybody stand or rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How we do, bud?
You guys are right on, buddy.
Hey,
I was ready. You're on training.
that's a big contribution to the county board.
You got rid of the comment.
All right, guys. You want to start off, Andy?
I got a request from Dina Hassler. She wanted to see, and she asked me this last year about some carpet in the
Right.
assessor's office, and the fact of the matter is, that's the original carpet that's there when they bought the building, I think, isn't it? It's when the attorneys were
It's
there.
been there.
It's,
Of course, they've
and it
done,
looks bad.
and they've done a lot of renovation to the wall. They've taken it upon themselves to do
And
a
they,
lot
yeah,
of.
they did the bathroom,
Right.
spent some of their own money and a little bit, so I said, and they wanted to take it out of office and furniture, and I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, that's office and furniture. So I said, go see what it is, and if it comes in, you know, something you can handle, then that's fine, because I think they had quite a bit left. I don't know how much they normally use out of theirs. I think they only used, last time I looked, it's like 2,000, they still had like close to 75% left or something like that. So I said, go ahead and look at it and get an estimate and see what it is and let me know.
Legal A1.
I didn't have anything to do with that. I said, she said she was gonna get an estimate. I said, go ahead and do it. It's her office.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes if you let them do it and something doesn't work right, it's their problem. It's not your fault.
Can't blame you.
And she's pretty frugal, so I
Oh,
think she'll do a good job.
Tight,
so.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it'll be done right.
Should be, yeah, it will be done right. So, and I said, if it runs over, just get an estimate, and let me know. We can go a little bit, the buildings and grounds. I think, have you been, in probation today? I haven't talked to Finney since, he's been busy up until this week, now I'm gonna get a hold of him. But you don't know if I think they're done with the heating, air conditioning.
I can't confirm that, other than I have not seen those guys around.
Okay. Dustin had texted me a couple times and said that they were getting ready to do some things, but I know last time we were at the board meeting, there was a leak over in the corner behind, on the right-hand corner behind where the judge sits there. And what they had done is, when they put the air conditioning drain in, condensation drain, they put it in a drain pipe up there. And they didn't, I mean, that's what I'd have done too, but then they found out that drain pipe evidently somewhere in the ceiling between there and the ground had a leak or crack or leak somewhere in there. And that's what was leaking in there. So they rerouted it, put another drain in, and I think they've got that part taken care of. So, other than that, I got a couple things working, but I haven't got anything definite to report on it yet. So, I think Bacon Van Busker, you heard anything from them?
Haven't heard from him yet. I did call electrician,
Okay.
and he wants the doors to be installed first before he comes down.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I know.
it's
Takes
in,
time.
it's in works.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Dan?
Talked to Dr. Sutton. He is willing to serve on the health committee, so I think that's on the agenda for Wednesday, right, the 20th.
Yes.
So I did talk to Dr. Lee first. Dr. Lee was really nice, said you might want to talk to Sutton since he's been there longer, so he's willing to do it. So I'll talk to Janet and probably get his email and so forth to get information to him.
Thank you for what you did with that.
Also, Clayton, well, had the accident, but there was a deputy that works at the hospital, he asked if maybe we could do something like a bench or something my problem is he's still alive. I mean, usually you do a memorial, we do it when somebody's already passed away, but I said I'd mention it to the board. So.
He wants us to do
He
what?
wants like to put a bench or something in the park in memory of Clayton, but he's still alive, so I don't know if
We
you
wouldn't
want
do it in memory of.
to.
Yeah.
I don't know
Or
what he
like
meant.
that. What do you do that?
I don't
So what has he got against Clayton?
Yeah.
Take him out? No.
You could do it in honor of.
That's probably, yeah, that's what he meant, I think, so, yeah. So I said I'll bring it up at the board meeting, if they want to contribute or something, or,
I think that's the way it should probably be. They're having a, did they already have the benefit?
I don't think yet.
Okay. There is a benefit
I don't know if
plan
we wanna-
for this month.
Do contribute some money to it, and wait, see what they get from the benefit, and maybe add to it, or.
I think
talked
at this
about bringing
point, I think they could, the family could probably would appreciate the cash. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing.
I don't think so.
They'd rather have that than the bench.
Make things work.
So what do you want me to tell him, we just table it for a while and wait, or? He's one of the security guards at the hospital, so.
I think you tell him you think the family would rather have the cash than the bench at this point.
Yeah.
It might be a little premature till we find out what his
Okay.
prognosis totally is,
I'll tell
okay?
him we talked about it, and.
But we will not just bury it,
Right.
okay?
Right.
We'll just kind of keep an eye on things and go from there, right?
I'll
Does that make sense? How about the shelter?
Great,
Okay.
camera's working,
The milestone of it.
yeah, and
We judge everything.
It's kind of funny, because I work at the lab, and I've already adopted out 2 dogs and 2 cats from people that work in the lab. So I said, well, we got a dog out of the shelter you might want to look at, so we've been going out and taking some of the, one took the pit bull, and that's very good.
It's good.
As Robert says, menial task, I did mow the yard over on Wood Street. I'm just doing menial things, so nothing important. Don't put that in the paper.
You can't say that. You-
I
you
can't,
guys
say- I
got-
have a right to
you-
say that.
You can say it, but you need to say it before you speak.
And he told me, Real King, I saw him last week, said, he said, Dan, I don't dislike you. He said, well, Robert goes in this ear, not this ear. And I walked off. We've been getting along real well.
That's good. I'm so glad
Yeah, I meant to-
for both of you. Are you going on vacation together or anything?
I don't think so.
What's the status of the truck?
Oh, she really is, really great. We got
Did she
the-
get a
Oh, yeah, we
different
got
truck?
the truck out here. She came and picked it up.
We had some stuff we were gonna trade off.
Right,
So
I
instead
I
of-
knew briefly, but I didn't know it had already happened.
Yeah.
Oh, so she got the old county.
Well, it's not old.
It's not that old, and it had very
Right.
few miles on it.
I saw
so-
it drive, looked pretty
Oh,
damn
yeah.
good.
It's got a thing that rolls out from the back of it, so you don't have to crawl down for anything. It rolls all the way out. She put her
Does it have
hinges
camp,
on it.
topper on
On
it?
top.
Yeah.
Good.
She has one side.
She got some
she's-
ventilation now, right?
Yeah, she's working on the ventilation part on that
Good.
side. She likes it.
Okay.
We got, what, 3,000 out of the old one, which probably was trash anyway.
I can't remember
You got
now.
3.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah.
All the
Depots
trucks-
came out, and Salesman came out that day and picked it up and took it, so the
Yep.
trade was made right out here.
Good.
She's very well pleased with it.
And I think we got 5 on the old brush hog, 5 or 6. So,
She's working on getting a sign. I said, we'll get a magnetic sign. We're not paint on the side and stick it
Yeah,
on the side.
makes
So
sense.
she's working on that. So, no, it's great.
Good.
Job very well.
glad that worked out.
Did very well.
John?
Dogs like it.
Not the tall ones.
Jeez.
Tall what, dog?
Yeah.
I like they can stoop.
Carl, do you have anything?
Other than maybe we might need to go to executive session, possibly,
Okay? That's fine. You
for
wish.
negotiations.
I was gonna, yeah, we got it then.
Okay,
I'll give this to you.
all right.
Okay, that was a no from Phil.
So, I just realized my phone has been turned off all morning, so I got a message from Tom as well. So he got an email from,
Oh, was it an email or a letter? I thought it was a letter, but that's
it's pretty quick. So here's what I do know. So, got a call last week on Friday, I believe, on vacation from Al and Lacknick, saying that he wanted us to go ahead and move forward with the beacon part just to kind of smooth things over and get this issue with the FAA completed. So I kind of talked through with him our concerns on that, primarily the fact that, we were told that it was far better to get the grant up front than try to get it retroactively. And so that was the way we proceeded up to the point where we got stopped. So he said, if you can, just go ahead, talk to our guys. There's two individuals, Richard
Forrest, right.
and another guy in that same shop that Tom has been working with for the beacon issue. So he contacted them. I talked to Tom right after that conversation with Al Lacknick. Tom got the wheels rolling. I got the email that he CC'd on the email he sent to them, trying to make sure that we had everything as far as our ducks in a row. All the paperwork completed if we were going to work and getting funded retroactively for the beacon, at which point he was going to proceed through our lowest bidder, which was the first bidder, which is that company out of Champaign, in regards to getting our beacon replaced. So that is the last interaction I had, and then this morning Tom received either a letter or an email saying we're moving forward with one of the projects. So I owe you guys a better explanation on that. I'll have it by Wednesday on what is actually going on and what we can expect.
Could I ask you a question? The email we got said that the state had approved our grants and all that, but Robert filed a lawsuit or something to the FFA.
Complaint.
An appeal.
Yeah, so now we're waiting for an answer from them.
The FFA has remained completely outside of this operation.
Okay.
We wouldn't expect to visit from the guys with the blue.
So actually, the state's the one
codes
who's worried about the money.
At the FAA.
Okay. I didn't quite
Joe, your
understand all that
expense.
stuff.
That was in the works. I didn't get told about that until right after our county board meeting. We talked about it at the last study session, that it's still hanging out with the FAA. They were gonna get us an answer pretty quick. That may be what this is about.
Okay.
Alan Lacknick seemed to think there wasn't a lot of grounds for them to hold us off. But the individual that was gonna give the final answer is the FAA district manager, maybe the wrong, yeah, right. So he has an office out of Chicago. He does most of the Midwest. He is conversant on our issues that we've had and was expected to get us an answer pretty quickly.
Okay. I didn't quite understand all that stuff.
Now, I assume, and I'm looking on the budget now, and I think we're good. We've got the money in the airport budget to go ahead and
Yeah.
do the beacon, so.
Yeah.
And we have other funds available.
Right, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to keep
Yeah.
it in the airport budget, but.
Right.
So I say get it done.
Yeah, we're not in a bind there. We were just, following the direction from the state of Illinois on the best way to proceed in order to get funds for the
Sure.
project.
What about the credit card machine? Is that something, I know it's on the back burner, it's not. really
That's what
important.
That's
one of the
part of
things
this
Yeah,
overall
part of it.
project,
Right, right.
so.
Okay.
Anything else for me?
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, you have a copy of the budget. Don will have some more explanations on Wednesday morning. He will be here. We've gone through, let's go through the agenda. Number 9.
Are you done with budget? I had a question.
Oh, please, yes, I'm sorry.
On sheriff, I don't quite understand how it is. Sheriff part-time, road deputy overtime, and correctional.
About 2 months into the year, we split it off.
Okay.
So-
Do you add all that together as one?
Right.
Because the budget's only
It should be
70,000.
100,000. It's at 101,000 right now.
But
against
the budget's
70.
only 7.
Right.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
wondering. So
you have to
total-
add the
Okay,
road deputy overtime, correction, and dispatch overtime.
that's kind of what I thought, but it's a
Yes.
lot more than the 70 that we have budgeted.
Yes.
It's like 100 that we have right now.
101,
101,000.
whatever it was.
That's kind of what I thought. I was trying to
Yes.
figure it out how it's.
Yeah. Now, next year, it'll be easier to follow
Can you
because we'll
separate it out
have it
each
all
one?
separated
That's what I'm
like
saying.
we
Right.
did 2 months into this year.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Sorry, but that was the only way we could go back and handle it.
Okay, I did quite understand.
While I'm talking about the budget, we've talked to Chapin Rose, we've talked to Augie and Don, consulted with them. The state has had since 91, 92 fiscal year of the state, they changed the accounting systems for counties. but they never implemented it. Well, now they're talking about implementing it and turning it into an accrual accounting system as opposed to cash. Of course, all of the systems, it's a big deal, okay? And of course, halfway through the year, or 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through, we've consulted with our auditor and accountant, and that's not an issue, that it's not gonna be a problem to convert at the end of the year to that. However, the Illinois Association of Counties and Municipalities and so forth is against this implementation because it does put undue hardships and costs a lot more money to maintain a system on an accrual basis. Chapin sent us some information, what, late last week, was it, Augie?
Yes.
That he is exploring along with other groups and legislators to implement by law some changes that will benefit the counties and townships. This affects all local governments, okay? So there's not a whole lot more to tell you about it this time. We're prepared to make the changes if we need to at the end of the fiscal year to get us into line. But that may not be necessary, but we've got to plan for the worst and hope for the best. And as we get more information from our legislators and from the comptroller's office, I'll make you aware of it.
Are all other counties on a cash basis? And
Most of them.
And they want you to switch over, they want all of them to switch over?
Right. Once, for example, just got the letter, what, the beginning of the month?
Oh, yeah,
Mid-month,
just, yeah.
that said that, we got your last report, that was your grace period, you're done. Basically, so, at any rate, and of course, our guys are going, holy cow, what does that mean?
The
What do we
quarterly
gotta
report?
do? No, this is the annual audit.
Okay,
The annual audit has to reflect an accrual system rather than
okay.
the cash system we're currently on. So, at any rate,
Right.
we're gonna know more, our auditor / accountant's gonna meet with Don and Augie and make preparations so that we're not surprised at the end of the year and find out, obviously if you know what you gotta deal with, it makes it a little easier to deal with it, so. At any rate, that's where we're at on that deal. Any questions? No, I have a lot, but there's not many answers yet. Okay, any other accounting or questions? Now, we're way, Don's looking into this, he's gonna tell you about it on Wednesday morning. We are down on income, but we don't see any particular problems. It's a matter of timing rather than issues of concern,
That's the
okay?
real estate tax, basically.
Well, not just that, I'm talking about the state. For
Okay,
example,
okay.
I think we're down about 60 grand right now on collecting from probation. But since that new budget and things should ease up, there's,
Money should start coming.
yes,
Schools
and
don't start
they've
to
done
redo it.
borrowing and all the things they need to do to initiate that budget, so. It doesn't help the school districts, that situation is something different. But
It's gonna be
as
tough.
far as we're concerned, a lot of it's a matter of timing. Sometimes just a matter of a few days can make $150,000 worth of difference pretty fast in what the state collects for us and then reimburses us for, okay? But Don will go into that on Wednesday morning.
Can you speak to at all with the money we expect to receive and what's going out and where we're at for the fiscal year? Are we in good shape? Are we in just, right
It'll-
budget, or where are we at?
If, it looks like we'll have 3 or 4% of the budget left, okay? But that's, I don't know. I mean, that's just I'm surmising at
Until
this
the end, you
time.
don't
How it's going
Right,
now.
and I don't wanna put you on the spot, I was
But,
just
no,
curious.
and I've looked at that, in fact, that's what I was doing this morning a little bit. It's like 4.5%.
Where were we last year, at the end? Were we at about the same?
We had, I think we had, 38 grand to the good last year that we hadn't spent out of the budget.
And what's that fall into, that about?
Uh, That was about 1%.
Okay.
Okay. All right, but, you know, a lot of things can happen and
So we're on pace and looking pretty good
Right,
at
I
the
mean,
moment, yeah.
we're on pace not to overexpend the budget at this point. But I've got a couple questions I need to talk to Augie's folks about, to find out where we're at on health insurance and some of the issues, because we're knocking on the door on that. Which bespeaks, that question is that I talked to Kurt Friday morning, and he said we should hear something in the first couple of days of this week, Carl,
Okay.
okay? Number 9, go ahead, did I hear somebody?
So we're not spending or selling county property to pay bills, as someone made a comment.
No, that would, you mean the 65,000?
Yeah.
Well, that would go to, again, just to review, the way the board has discussed it, is that if we have some sale expenses like cleaning it up and so forth, that would come out of the 65. The board has taken no official action, but I think everybody kind of thinks that that'll go into the bell tower, or and the rest of that would go
That's
into
kind
there.
of what I thought, so.
And so that would not be dumped into any kind of a hole where it just disappears,
Okay.
okay?
We're not selling it to pay bills,
No.
we're selling it because
That
We
was
didn't
my-
we
want
don't really have the need for it.
that was
And we
one
don't
of the
want
comments.
any
And I
more.
wanna get rid of it.
I get around town too much, I need to stay home.
We'll sell it before it looks like that property.
You're gonna hear all kinds of stuff.
I know.
You ought to try being a county board member and then selling fuel on top of everything else. If they don't hate you for one thing, they
Yeah, I
hate you
know.
for the
Hey.
other, so.
I see too many people every day.
Oh, well, that's why you get the big bucks.
Yeah, right.
Okay, number 9, any questions on Pete's Bung?
I did think, I saw Pete and I thanked him for volunteering. I said it's really hard to get people on committees, so he said he.
And I prepared a letter for the gentleman going off. Augie helped me prepare it so that he will send it once this is official. I went to the first meeting of the Eastern Illinois Economic Development. It was quite interesting. There's a huge chemical plant planned for Douglas County. I don't know whether you've heard about it, feed and so forth. It's a over a $2 billion project. And part of what the Eastern Illinois Economic Development Authority was created for was to extend an tax umbrella shelter on certain aspects to save them additional money and to encourage them, not property tax, but bond issue taxes and interest on their loans. So, at any rate, we could extend that. Right now, that particular is only 200,000, and the legislature's gonna increase the authority significantly. I don't exactly know how much, probably to over $1 billion for that corporation.
What all counties are in that district?
Okay, Douglas, Champaign, Vermillion, Edgar, Clark. I don't know whether, there are seven counties in that district.
Okay.
And there are like 4 or 5 districts in Illinois, which cover, I think, like 80 counties. Not all of the counties are covered with it, okay, at this point.
Right, well, I was just fooling around online after the last meeting, and Edgar wasn't listed with any of them, so I was just
No,
kinda
it's-
curious. You know, and nobody had updated the website in a while, I just,
We've been a member since the beginning, though. It should have been on there. Now, our representative hasn't been there for a number of, almost a year, so maybe that's in the minute. I don't-
my internet skills are a little bit suspect occasionally too, so.
Where's that
One
plant
year
being
ago.
built at?
When?
Where?
Well, that would be, right outside of Tuscola, on the northeast side of Tuscola.
Well, they've already started it, haven't
No, they haven't, not that I'm aware of.
they? Is there another project going on up
Yes,
there?
there's
I came
another
up with an
project.
old
Okay.
date somehow.
There's another project right off of 49, and they've started buying
Maybe my
land and
internet's
so
just
forth.
old.
Because that Hiller that works here, that's what he's
Still using
doing
that.
now.
Okay, Now, they may be doing some site work as far as surveying and so forth. I'll find out.
So there's two different projects.
Yeah,
But I
there's
knew
two
that other project was a big project also.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wasn't that fertilizer?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, then resolution to reappoint, let's see, oath. Any questions on the Kiwanis Honeybee Committee?
Mark
Edgar?
I want to back up on Mark Gilbert. Didn't we do that already, or no, we just approved him through 2017?
This is the
And this is for the
reappointment because
next
he replaced somebody and then
His father, right.
Yeah.
Right, and then it was gonna, this was.
Okay, it
God.
was going to end right after that, so we're just extending it 3
Right.
more. I kind
I
of,
didn't mean to skip over that, I didn't think it was.
no, and that's not a big deal. I just was,
Is the sheriff okay with the Kiwanis?
He will be.
All right. Okay. And I assume that one of the sales fell through on 130007?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, the owner decided to pay their taxes.
Okay, all right. Then Augie, do you have, or does the committee have anything to say on the disposal of the remaining contents of the Kreckman building? Do we need to discuss anything at this time?
Are we bringing that up in the closed session or not?
No,
I have a
it
question.
wouldn't be,
I have a
it wouldn't
question.
be eligible
I
for
have
a
a
closed
question on the
session.
sale.
Huh?
I have a question on the sale.
Okay.
Are Watchdogs filing a lawsuit or something saying it was illegal sale?
They sent a text, no, what was it, a FOIA?
FOIA request.
Wanting to know where certain documents were, and I read it, and the state's attorney's been out on
Yeah, I
vacation.
remember I had an email once recently.
And they want to know whether we have disavowed any ownership, or I guess it has to do with ownership, or our relationship with the person or persons or entity that's going to get the facility, to make sure that there's no conflict of interests. And I don't know where that sits because the state's attorney just got in the office this morning. I'm not aware of a lawsuit as much as
Not a lawsuit, but a.
Inquiry.
it's an inquiry
Yeah, okay.
wanting to know whether we have, and whether, and our state's attorney's gonna have to tell us whether we have to do something or not, or whatever.
Yeah,
Not
there's
having gone to Harvard Law School, I don't.
There's some rumors about what's gonna happen with,
Well, I know exactly, well, it's not for us
and
to
it came
say.
from a pretty good source.
Well, no, I know what's gonna happen with the
It's
property.
gonna be traded,
Right,
yeah, okay.
yeah,
Maybe.
but that's,
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
that's not for us to
I
announce.
know, but
Okay.
I just wondered if that was why they had requested information on sale.
We just saw what they do with it, that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But if we have to certify that we have no interest in any entity or persons, you know, that's fine. I mean, nobody's got anything to hide, so.
All right.
Let's see, of course, we talked about Reed Sutton and replacing Dr. Phipps. The next item was a request from Crispin Firemen's Association for the Crispin Day celebration. They had originally asked for $1,500. Looking at the fund, hotel motel tax fund, has been running at about $3,400. It's right now at $2,300. It doesn't seem to be gaining much ground, so it's my recommendation that
Since
we.
there's not that much in there, we'll
Right.
get something, but not everything.
Right,
Mm,
okay?
okay.
And I did inform them that, Ben Jennings Jr. and the other guys, that that's probably gonna happen because we just haven't had the replenishment of that fund. They said, whatever you can do is fine, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that was out and clear, okay?
What happened to the point in time where the fund is zero? Do we
Well,
still have the money?
We don't give them.
Yeah, there may be times when we can't,
I don't
but
think
we,
they can
there's
manage
other
it.
organizations that may ask for some funds out of there,
Okay,
and I think we have,
understood.
okay?
back up to number 16. I talked to Bob the other day and he had some ideas on disposal. I mean, who's in
Oh,
charge
yeah,
of that?
sorry, didn't mean to, go ahead.
I mean, that's just my question. I mean,
Buildings and grounds.
okay.
I mean, I don't think there's he's basically, I've talked to Bob a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting rid of some of the junk that's there.
He's carrying the junk out. He was thinking about seeing if somebody wanted to come in and take all the metal for scrap. He was wondering about the idea of maybe a garage sale type thing where anybody from the public that wanted to come in and make a bid or
The
an
state's
offer.
attorney has made it very clear that whatever we do, we have to document it. We can't offer it for sale like that.
Right.
He wants a receipt from the junkyard for
Okay.
everything that goes there, and that we don't have much leeway about that.
Okay.
It's not to go to anybody that works for the county, any of us elected officials, anything else, because that would just open us up for all kinds of issues that we do not want to.
Yeah, did I hear, didn't you say that he was going, someone came in for the metal or was going to?
No, you.
He was talking
I
about
first
talking
heard
to
about the
them.
metal.
Yeah,
See, we
he,
can't do that.
No.
We can't do that.
How about computers, Jeff? And yes, sir.
Can we load up the metal? We can load up the metal and go sell it somewhere. I mean, get the county some money out of it. I mean, as long as we load it up, take it somewhere, and they give us money, then,
We just need receipts.
okay, give
Now,
us a receipt.
that we could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we do it
Right.
and go take it, anything in there, take it and sell it.
What do you
But
wanna
it's
do?
county
What do you wanna
property.
do with like the pop machine? It's worth some money. I don't know how much. It's not a real desirable, and the older ones are worth more, but.
What does the committee recommend?
I don't think we dump the computers in the trash either. I think they got
We discussed
toxic
that.
material.
Yes.
A lot of those computers aren't
Yes,
ours.
sandwich them in
A lot of that stuff was left from.
Where we said the
Correct.
middle?
The middle area.
yeah, but we own it now.
Well, yeah, but if they didn't care about it,
You just can't take them to dump, I don't think.
Well, we may have to pay somebody to come and get
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that Toby will take that stuff. I don't think,
Computers?
the computers and stuff. That's,
You said they would take the CRTs though, right?
but they won't take the old screens. They'll take flat screens, but not the new screens. Or the old screens, I mean.
So those we have to, we're not supposed to put those in the dump, we're supposed to find
Not supposed to.
something.
It's like old TVs, same thing.
Put them at the bottom of the trash
No,
barrel.
no,
No,
no, the
the
middle, the middle.
Middle.
So Toby will take them
That's right.
and he recycles it.
He recycles it. There's a lot of stuff in there. They recycle that stuff. I think they probably, I really think they send it to like China.
And then they break it apart
Break it
with
apart,
hammers
and
and
they-
you
yeah.
get heavy metal poisoning.
That's
But
We just need to get a receipt. If
Well,
Toby
they got a lot of
takes
people to lose their.
10, we need a
For
receipt.
nothing, I mean, for free.
We still need to
Okay.
show where,
I
if
need
we
to
can,
where it
we
went.
need to show documents of where everything went,
Okay.
okay?
That sale thing, no one ever bid on that.
Yeah, you might.
Sorry.
I had
Yeah,
two
he
people.
showed it to two people.
I showed it to two.
And we received no bids.
It's a bunch of junk.
It's a
Yeah.
junk.
So most of it sounds like we're gonna have to call and put dumpsters out there and fill it and it goes to the.
Now, Bob said he's been loading the truck up and going around to, like the sheriff's department and other places, putting junk in those dumpsters. He goes, so at this point, I'm getting rid of it a little at a time without having to pull a dumpster out there.
Well, that's smart.
So-
out in the yard there.
But at some point, we're gonna have to,
We probably will have, because there's, I think, it's gonna be more than you can do.
what about the shredders? How's that going?
We are waiting for final approval for disposal of all of my contents, which is significant. And then we'll have enough to justify the expense of the shredding truck.
Okay.
Because a lot of the shredding material from the Kreckman building is all thrown in my election room basement. Election room in the basement. Yeah, I said that right. So we're accumulating a pile, but just as soon as we get approval, by then I'll give the shredder a call and they'll come do it.
How about other offices?
Yeah, well, a lot of their stuff
Is
is,
in there.
some of theirs is, but most of the other offices are okay.
Okay.
Or have done so on themselves.
I guess all I was checking, if you're gonna have the shredder come in, I would hate for probation to get the approval to shred stuff 2 days later and miss out on the truck being there.
No, I believe that Anybody that needs anything shredded has already thrown it into our pile.
Okay.
Yeah. We've made that known.
So
I
back, on-
assumed you had.
Carl, go ahead.
so back on 16, come
Yes.
Wednesday, what do we need to do to?
Yeah, I don't know why it's on the agenda, is what we're asking.
The reason why is because the state's attorney said you need to have a meeting of some form or fashion and officially declare those contents to be of no value. And then
Dispose of
and
it.
then dispose of it. So it's,
According to what the state's attorney has recommended.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted,
Yes.
do you have a resolution then for that?
do not have a resolution for
Yeah.
that. It would be, he said, as long as we have some
Okay.
public record on the books that says that we discussed it and it's been authorized.
We have tried to,
Now, if you want a resolution, why,
no,
we'll get
that's
one.
fine, I just wanna make sure that we're doing what he wanted, that's all. Any further questions on that subject? Okay. Let's see. Did I ask for public comment?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanna make sure I did.
I don't remember
Anybody
having-
have anything else to come before the meeting this morning, before we go into exec session? I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session for negotiations.
For negotiations. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, Carl and Andy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay. It carries.
Now we're back in open
We are
session.
back in open session. Augie, I missed your report. Is there anything you need to discuss with the board at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Augie. Hearing no other business to come before the meeting, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Same ones. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you, guys.